Shalom. Aleta Shah Preziduti Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honor to apostles of great millstone, peace and blessings to the elect, hopeful members of the elect. And we are approaching, this man's image, the beast system that, Esau is planning to bring, and all these world governments to bring to the forefront, right? And the ultimate goal is to have everybody identified, to be tracked. They want to know everything you're doing, you're spending. But a part of this whole 2030 agenda, they want to have everybody to have this digital identification, which is happening in the UK, where starting in the UK, that you won't be able to work unless you have a digital identification. And also Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, he is pushing that whole, starting with the people who have social assistance, welfare, and these other programs, that you won't be able to receive benefits unless you have this social assistance with this digital identification, right? So they're moving very fast, and they have this agenda, and this agenda is going to be fulfilled according to prophecy. So this is off of 6buzz. This is off of Instagram that I screenshotted. Canadians will not be able to travel to the UK without an electronic travel authorization starting February 2026, right? So Esau, they're moving very fast, right? And they're moving very quick, right? So this is off of global news. This is off of actual news that I had to verify if this is true or not, and it's actually, and this is true. So it says the UK to start enforcing new travel permit rules for Canadian visitors. Canadians will not be able to legally enter the UK without a travel permit starting next February, or face being denied boarding, right? So that's what's going to happen. So if you don't have this whole this digital identification, right, and it's going to happen here in Canada because Mark Carney, right, he spent a lot of time in the UK, and he was he's basically a banker. He's into like finance. He was into the finance in the UK, right? So so this Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, he's going to be pushing that same thing. They're all on the same goal. It says the ETA obligation for the Canadians originally came into early this year, but the UK government says the rules were not strictly enforced to give visitors ample time to adjust to the new requirements. ETAs are not travel visas, but are for passport holders who do not need a UK travel visa, right? So this is what's basically, they're going to be pushing this whole thing, and they're moving very quick, right? I'm going to get the scripture, Revelation, because like having a digital identification is not the mark of the beast, but when they basically push, this is one step closer, because basically the goal is to have everybody identified, to be to have this RFID chip in people's flesh. Like this is the plan of the global elite. So Revelation 13:15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak, and that cause as the many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. right? So this is this image what what he's pushing, uh, uh um a global takeover, right? That you won't be able to be a part of this society. They plan on having these smart cities, and you're going to be controlled. You won't be able to have freedom, right? Because it's very sick, a very sick program what they're planning. Because if all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So this is this man's beast, his beast system that Esau has came back, you know, in his stead, right? Calling himself, the Romans, and then now calling himself, the so-called European, Union. Basically, this is Esau's his global um authority of the world that he's gonna push on the people, and all these other nations. They're all involved. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of the beast or the number of the name. He would let him to have understanding called the number of the beast, for as the number of a man, and the number 600 threescore and six. So which is the 600 threescore and six is Kaisai stigma, right? That's something that's gonna be impaled in your flesh. So we're moving very. This thing is moving very fast. We're approaching the end of 2025, going into 2026. So a lot of things are going to be happening. Things are is changing rapidly. So we gotta watch as well as pray. So with that, let's say our praise due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the one apostles of great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.